Great to have you here. I like the sweater.
Oh, thanks.
Very good. The CNB embroidered sweater.
Yeah, I got a couple other colors. So
Very
yeah, I
nice.
like them, and they're just good this time of year when it gets a little chilly out.
So what keeps you busy this time of year with year-end stuff?
Well, we just got through a lot of the budgeting stuff, so we're always working on that kind of stuff. But there's always companies that are wanting to, spend a little extra money. Their CPAs are saying, hey, do you need to buy some equipment? So we're, working on last-minute deals, getting that kind of stuff done. And then, really kind of preparing for what our strategy is and all the good stuff we've got going on next year. So.
Yeah, and I think you kind of touched on it, but I was going to ask you kind of what makes CNB different from some of these national banks, and a lot of it is those personal conversations, right?
Yeah, oh, absolutely, yeah. So our staff right now, everybody's kind of ordered all their Christmas stuff, so going out and visiting with clients and that kind of stuff, and having spent 28 years working for large regional banks, I appreciate the community aspect of stuff and really being able to make a difference, and that's really what it's all about. It makes it so much more fun and rewarding.
Tony, I don't think I've ever asked you this, but what got you into banking originally? Is that something that you wanted to do as a career when you were in school?
I got out of school and I came back to Jackson, and I went and having worked at the country club for a number of years in the bag room and the pro shop. There are a couple of people that I went and saw. I went and saw Al Glick, and I went and saw Brian Bell.
Okay.
And,
awesome.
So, probably within a few days, Brian reached back out and said, hey, we got a job for you. And so I went into the bank's executive training program and kind of did my rounds going through all the different areas.
Okay.
And I really like commercial lending, so that's kind of where I stuck, and I've been doing that kind of stuff ever since.
Yeah, Small World. Brian was a wonderful supporter of our family and JTV. So yeah, it is, and that's what is the beauty of a small town, right? These connections.
Oh yeah, it's not necessarily what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I've been fortunate, and had a very good career here in the Jackson market. I've been in a couple other markets, kind of. Doing middle market lending, but it's been a lot of fun.
It's event season for sure. You guys support a ton of events. I just saw you guys at the Lumen Christi auction. That was a good time. But there's probably quite a few events on your schedule between now and Christmas.
Yeah, well, we've got is it the chamber event that's tomorrow night?
Thanks for the reminder.
So I'll be there. The CNB is presenting I think the Small Business Award of the year. So. Looking forward to that event and making that presentation.
Yeah. When you're out and about at these events, what's a question that you get most commonly about? Is it about the economy? Is it about banking?
I think a lot of people, it's with rates. I think tend to be probably one of the hot topics for folks. And I wish I had a crystal ball. If I did, I'd probably be retired. But I'm optimistic on where things are headed from that perspective. I do think the current administration trying to do something with fuel prices. I think that's a big aspect of improving our economy and the inflation, and hopefully rates will follow.
Yeah.
So,
Tony, what would be your go-to piece of advice for young people just starting out, whether they're just out of college or maybe they just got their first apartment or house? What would you like if you could look back and maybe even give yourself some advice? What would that be?
Well, so that's my son's 21, so it's that perfect timing. We also have a 21-year-old daughter, so. My advice to them is really find something you're passionate about. If you're passionate about it, you enjoy doing it, you're going to excel at it, and life's going to be a lot more enjoyable for you.
Yeah, that's great advice. What changes in the industry? What's the biggest change since you first jumped in 28 years ago that you've seen?
Something for me that I think has really been a big change coming from a large regional bank is the regulatory stuff. Those aspects of banking, certainly can be cumbersome. The bigger bank you are, the more regulatory constraints that you have. So we, as an organization, we just broke the $1 billion barrier not too long ago. So that in and of itself creates a little bit more work, but we still have more flexibility in that regard than some of the larger organizations and larger banks do. So that's been something that's changed significantly. For me, AI I think is going to be something that's a big deal for banking in the foreseeable future. So. That's something Joe Williams, he's actually interviewed for a new role for our organization, Director of Innovation. So that's going to help us hopefully be on the cutting edge of those types of things so that we're not a follower, hopefully more of a leader.
Awesome. How are you with AI? Do you ever get fooled by anything you see online?
I'm pretty good about that stuff because we get our security team does a nice job of they shoot out stuff and as far as educational stuff, but they also test you too. So yeah, you're pretty cautious about clicking on the wrong stuff. So we're pretty, knock on wood, we're pretty good about. At least I am.
That's awesome.
I don't want to have to go through a bunch of classes that they shoot me online because I opened up a wrong link.
That's right. Yeah, if you don't trust it, open it. And some of these scammers out there across the world using AI to make the scams more sophisticated.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I think I talked about it last time I was on here, but fraud's become it's a $1 billion industry of itself, and it's unfortunate. So you got to be really careful about what you're opening and who you're dealing with. And that's one of the nice parts about being a community bank is you know the people down the street. You can go in and talk to them, and if you need something, you can pick up the phone and get an actual body to talk to. So
yeah, I was going to ask you if someone hadn't walked into one of your branches, what do you hope that a new customer feels or notices right away about CNB?
I think from the branch side, our staff there does a great job, and I think really the recognition and being able to acknowledge people and remember them. We've got a lot of clients that come in, and the associates will call them by name, and I think they really enjoy that. So it's the bigger communities, I think it's becoming where it's a little less personal, but in communities this size, people still really enjoy that kind of stuff, and we love being able to provide that kind of service.
Yeah, it's great stuff, and looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow night. And again, you are presenting the award.
We are, yes, I am. So I will be there.
I know who won, but I won't say.
Yeah, I know as well.
Okay,
so yes.
I won't say. So look forward to that, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Well, thanks, Andy. Yeah.
Thanks, Tony.
I appreciate it.
More of the show right after this.